So hello everyone and welcome to Career Launcher. So in today's class, we are going to discuss the seventh part of the GK and Current Affairs revision series, which we are doing for this year CUET 2025. So basically, if you see the previous year questions, we have seen questions from important days. Okay. So in today's class, I have decided to revise those days. Like आप जाते हो जैसे World Environment Day, when do we celebrate? When do we celebrate United Nations Day? Like that. Na? When do we celebrate Human Rights Day, etc. And we have seen a question on previous year. In previous year, we have seen question in CUET. So that is why I'm here to discuss and revise that important part of your exam or your exam preparation. So let us begin. And those who have not watched the previous videos, please go. First of all, please subscribe to our channel. Go to the playlist. Playlist mein aa jao. This is the playlist that we are providing. Isme click karna, view full playlist, and you will get the detailed video, the previous videos, the revision videos. You can go and watch it. I've discussed a lot of current affairs of the last 6 months also here. Okay. Now, why I'm discussing today days, important days, is because of this, right? You can see I have given you a previous year question also. And if you can solve this for me, I'll be very happy to know. If anyone is watching live and he or she can solve this question, I will be very happy to know this. Okay. These are doable questions. ये सब miss नहीं होना चाहिए. थोड़ा सा मेहनत in the sense क्या होता है कि थोड़ा रटना होता है. मतलब 3-4-5 बार पढ़ोगे तो याद हो जाएगा. But if these things gets repeated, because we have seen in the past the themes getting repeated or topics getting repeated directly or indirectly. ठीक है? So these are the important days. देखो अगर आप सब नहीं भी आता तो भी आप कुछ हद तक elimination से आंसर पे पहुंच सकते भी हो. ठीक है? But still, ideally, you should remember all the important days. So what I have decided to discuss in today's class is I will discuss all those important days. Okay? So shall we begin? If anyone is watching live, please write yes, no, kuch bhi likho comment mein. Are you able to understand what I'm discussing? Okay. So let us begin. इसको हम लोग लास्ट में डिस्कस करेंगे. अगर आज हो जाए तो ठीक है. Otherwise, we are conducting this class every Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. Okay. So today also I will discuss these days, important days, and most likely tomorrow also at 7 p.m. we'll be having class for that. Okay. And we will try to solve these PYQs also. Okay. So let us begin with the question answer format. We will discuss the important days. So let us discuss with the first question. When do we celebrate Pravasi Bharatiya Divas? This is also in English called as NRI Day. What is NRI? Non-resident Indian. Non-resident Indian Day. Non-resident Indian Day, NRI Day कब मनाते हैं? 3rd January, 9th January, 7th January, 19th January. And why do we celebrate on this day? If you tell me, I'll be very happy to know. Anyone? If you know the answer, please write in the comments. In the live chat, I will be very happy. So the right answer is option B. 9th January is the right answer to this question. Okay, so we celebrate Pravasi Bharatiya Divas or non-resident Indian Day on 9th January. So B is the right answer. And the reason is very simple. If you have read a little bit of history, I'm sure you must be aware that Gandhi ji had gone from India to South Africa in 1893 for his legal work or for his professional life. And he came back from South Africa to India, bag and baggage, on 9th January 1915. Okay. That is why 9th January is celebrated as Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. Pravasi Bharatiya Divas. This is organized by Foreign Ministry. Okay. Or what we call it as non-resident Indian Day. Okay. So this is what you should be knowing about. So the answer here is B is the right answer. This year, Pravasi Bharatiya Divas was celebrated in Bhubaneswar, Odisha, in 2025. Just have an idea. This was the theme. Diaspora's contribution to a Viksit Bharat. Diaspora समझते हो ना? Indians living abroad. या Indian expats भी लिखते हैं ना? Indians living abroad is called as diaspora. That is what you should be knowing about. ठीक है? So ये actually PBD कई बार news में रहता है प्रवासी भारतीय दिवस. And hence it, of course, it can be asked. Okay, this is important. Star market. Now let's move on to the next one. National Youth Day is on which day? एंड व्हाई डू वी सेलिब्रेट ऑन दिस डे? वाई भी बताते जाना है, जिसमें इंपॉर्टेंट होगा वहां पे मैं वाई पूछूंगा, अदरवाइज सब में नहीं पूछूंगा वाई। प्लीज टेल मी नेशनल यूथ डे कब मनाते हैं और किन की यादें मनाते हैं? कोई खास चीज हुई थी? व्हाट इज द इंपॉर्टेंट इवेंट दैट हैपेंड? आई एम वेटिंग फॉर द रिस्पॉन्स in the live chat. If you know it, please answer. The right answer is 12th January. Why? This is the birthday of Swami Vivekanand ji. ठीक है, Swami Vivekanand ji, and that is why you should know. So A is the right answer, है ना? His original name was initially born as Narendranath Datta. ये भी कभी-कभी पूछते हैं एग्जाम में. You should know these things, है ना? He was a very famous in bringing the idea of Vedanta philosophy. ठीक है, so that is what you should know. And है ना, आप देखो 12 January 1863, so he was born on 12 January, and that is why we celebrate National Youth Day on this day. And he was famous for his Chicago speech, right? 1893 Parliament of Religion in Chicago, 11 September 1893, a very famous speech given by him. Okay. So these are some of the facts you should be knowing about Swami Vivekanand ji. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. When do we celebrate Army Day? 1st February, 15 January, 29 January, 26 January. What is the right answer? Army Day कब मनाते हैं बताइए? The right answer is 15th January. B is the right answer to this question. So why 15 January? Because 15 January 1949 को क्या हुआ था कि there was a, I hope you are aware, we got independence on 15th August 1947. ठीक है, so at that time the British army was controlled by British generals. So the British general, when he was going, he handed over his army chief, like his position, to the first Indian. His name is K.M. Cariappa. ठीक है. So at that time he was lieutenant general, then became general, and later on he was promoted to field marshal also. So he was field marshal, the second field marshal of India. है ना, K.M. Cariappa. So 15 January 1949 को the power of the transfer power of army chief happened. Okay, from a British general to an Indian general. Okay, and that is why 15 January 1949, and that is why 15 January we do celebrate as Indian Army Day. ठीक है, so याद रखिएगा. These are the prominent things you should be knowing. तो इसी में अवार्ड दिया था जो अशोक चक्र, परमवीर चक्र. These awards are actually awarded to Indian officers, Indian Army officers on 15 January because that is Indian Army Day. ठीक है. The next one is when do we celebrate National Voters Day? 1st February, 25th January, 29th January, 21st January. National Voters Day कब मनाते हैं और रीजन भी बता दो, so I'll be very happy to know कि you know the reason. And why do we celebrate on this day? When do we celebrate National Voters Day? So the answer is one day before Republic Day. The answer is 25th January. Because 25th January 1950 means one day, just one day before we were celebrating the first Republic Day, Election Commission of India was established, ECI. You know what is ECI? Election Commission of India. I'm sure you must have heard this organization. Anna. This is actually instrumental in conducting elections throughout the India for parliament election, for parliamentary elections, Anna. And state level पर legislative assembly election या state legislature लिख देता हूँ, both है ना, legislative assembly and legislative council का. So state legislature है ना. Then president and vice president का election conduct कराते हैं. So these four का. That is what you should know. So the right answer is 25th January 1950. It was formed, and that is why National Voters Day is celebrated on 25th January. ठीक है, ये याद रखिएगा. Now let's move on. And who is the Chief Election Commissioner? So basically, Election Commission of India is a 3-member body, है ना, 3-member body comprising of Chief Election Commissioner and 2 Election Commissioner. तो Chief Election Commissioner का नाम क्या है? मिस्टर ज्ञानेश कुमार, इज द चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर ऑफ इंडिया, है ना। हिंदी में कहते हैं केंद्रीय चुनाव आयोग, है ना। तो उनके चेयरमैन है इलेक्शन का, है ना। ये भारतीय निर्वाचन सदन भी लिखते हैं, निर्वाचन आयोग यानी इलेक्शन कमिश्नर ऑफ इंडिया को, उसके जो चेयरमैन है या उनका नाम है मिस्टर ज्ञानेश कुमार है, श्री ज्ञानेश कुमार, ठीक है। लेट्स मूव ऑन टू द नेक्स्ट वन. हाँ, दिस इज अ लिटिल tricky question, that Republic Day is on 26th January. Why this day was chosen to completely enforce the Constitution? I hope you are aware that Constitution was established, अगर आपने preamble देखा होगा, was formed on 26 November 1949. But we waited for 2 months and it was fully enforced on 26 January 1950. Why? The reason is actually a historic reason, because on 26 January 1930, Indian National Congress celebrated Poon Swaraj Divas. Okay. That is what you should be knowing. So just to remember that day, 20 years later, this date was chosen as the first Republic Day, or the full enforcement of the Constitution happened on that day. Okay. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. World Wetland Day कब मनाते हैं? This is very, very, very important. अच्छा, इसको ये second है जी. There's a mistake in this. So basically, technically, ये second है. The answer is B. Let me clarify it. इसमें third मैंने गलती से लिख दिया. 2nd February 1971. What happens is 2nd February 1971, Ramsar Convention was signed. Okay. Ramsar is a city in Iran, and this convention was signed to protect wetland at the world level. Okay. Wetland क्या होता है? ऐसे समझ लेना. It is something similar to a lake, but lake से थोड़ा कम water होता है. ठीक है. I'm not going in that detail. ठीक है. But it is something similar to a lake, या slightly lesser than lake. ठीक है. उसमें जो है plants वगैरह और होते हैं, and it's having more biodiversity etc. ठीक है. तो उसको protection important होता है because it has having high biodiversity. So protection of that becomes very important from environment point of view. ठीक है. ठीक है. So B is the right answer, है ना. So 2nd February 1971, World Wetland Day we do celebrate. So 2nd February is World Wetland Day. Okay, because 2nd February 1971, Ramsar Convention was signed. Okay, let's move on to the next one. International Mother Language Day. 21st February, 27th February, 11th February, 19th February. कब होता है इंटरनेशनल मदर लैंग्वेज डे? बताओ. नहीं, एक्चुअली द राइट आंसर इज ऑप्शन ए, 21st February. ठीक है. इट इज सेलिब्रेटेड बाय यूनेस्को. ए इज द राइट आंसर टू दिस क्वेश्चन. ठीक है. एंड मदर लैंग्वेज का मतलब क्या होता है? मातृभाषा, है ना. सो दिस इज सेलिब्रेटेड बाय यूनेस्को, और इट हैज सम रिलेशन विद Bangladesh and all. So the birth of Bangladesh is the result of the language politics. We are not going in that detail, but you should know a little bit. So 21st February is actually because of that event. We do celebrate 21st February as International Mother Language Day. This is celebrated by UNESCO every year. ठीक है. है ना. तो इसमें क्या है? To promote preservation protection of all language used by people around the world. Let's move on to the next one. National Science Day. इन नेशनल में तो इंडिया में सेलिब्रेट किया था. साइंस डे इज देयर. व्हाई? व्हाट इज द रीजन? यस, पार्थ रावत, यू आर राइट. 28th February, because 28th February 1928, what happened? Raman effect. Very good, पार्थ रावत, very good. आपने सही जवाब दिया. Raman effect, है ना, by Dr. C.V. Raman, है ना. So this is a effect in physics. We are not going in that detail. So, and he got, so when he found this on 28th February 1928, 2 years later in 1930, he got Nobel Prize in Physics. Okay, that is what you should be knowing. Okay, है ना. और रमन इफेक्ट जो है ना, वो स्कैटरिंग ऑफ लाइट से रिलेटेड है. इतना याद रखना. कभी कभी ऐसे पूछ लेते हैं, मैंने देखा है एग्जाम में. ठीक है. इंस्टेड ऑफ रमन इफेक्ट दे विल गिव 4 ऑप्शंस. That डॉक्टर सीवी रमन गॉट नोबेल प्राइज एंड CUET का फेवरेट है ये, मैंने देखा है, दे आस्क नोबेल प्राइज, उससे रिलेटेड बहुत सारी पूरा हिस्ट्री निकाल के पूछते हैं, ठीक है। तो इसलिए इंस्टेड ऑफ रामन इफेक्ट समटाइम्स दे गिव दिस ऑप्शन कि ही हैज वर्कड फॉर व्हाट, तो दो एक ऑप्शन लिखेंगे लाइक स्कैटरिंग ऑफ लाइट, वन अदर ऑप्शन वुड बी रिसर्च ऑन एटम, ऐसे लाइक दैट। तो आपको समझना है कि रामन इफेक्ट इज अबाउट स्कैटरिंग ऑफ लाइट, है ना, तो ये सब टर्म आपको आइडिया होना चाहिए। हम पूरा डिटेल नहीं जानना है कि रामन इफेक्ट होता क्या है, बट आपको एक रफ आइडिया होना चाहिए, इट इज समथिंग अबाउट स्कैटरिंग ऑफ लाइट, है ना, रिसर्च रिलेटेड विद दैट, है ना, एंड हाउ द डिफरेंट वेवलेंथ्स रिस्पॉन्ड टू दैट। बिकॉज इतना तो अपने थोड़ा बहुत बच्चों ने पढ़ा ही होगा कि डिफरेंट वेवलेंथ्स होती है लाइट्स की, तो डिफरेंट तरह से रिस्पॉन्ड करती है, डिफरेंट तरह से रिफ्लेक्ट होती है, स्कैटर होती है, यू नो दीस थिंग्स। Let's move on to the next one. World Wildlife Day is on which day? 3rd March, 9th March, 8th March, 21st March. Yes, the right answer is 3rd March. Okay, so option A was the right answer. World Wildlife Day is on 3rd March. इसमें और I'm not explaining size वगैरह, थोड़ा हाई लेवल हो जाएगा तो अपना आपको जानना नहीं है. Just remember it. World Wildlife Day is on 3rd March. The next is International Women's Day. Very very important. और ये पूछा हुआ है PYQ. I have just shown you in the beginning of the class that this was asked in CUET also. CUET क्या बहुत सारे एग्जाम में पूछा हुआ है. So International Women's Day is very 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 important. Yes, Parth Rawat, you are right. 8th March is the right answer to this question. So 8th March is celebrated as International Women's Day. याद रखिएगा. Please try to remember it. C is the right answer. Let's move on to the next one. International Day of Women Judges. ये कब होता है? देखो इसमें जजेस आ गया है. International Day of Women Judges. Then what should be the answer? The right answer is 10th March. So 8th March is International Women's Day plus 2 कर देना 10th March. So International Day of Women Judges. ठीक है? So B is the right answer. Okay? International Day of Women Judges. The next one is International Day of Happiness. ये कब मनाते हैं? और इस दिन एक important report भी आती है, World Happiness Index, World Happiness Report. This also comes on this day. तो कभी रिपोर्ट्स वगैरह डिस्कस कराऊंगा तो यहाँ ये भी डिस्कस करा दूंगा. World Happiness Report is released on this day. Yes, Parth Rawat, you are right. The right answer is 20th March is the right answer to this question. Is then International Day of Happiness मनाते हैं, and the same day we are having World Happiness Report being released. ठीक है? है ना? The next one is World Water Day. When do we celebrate? 23rd March, 24th March, 29th March, 22nd March. What is the right answer? Yes, Parth, again you are right. D is the right answer. 22nd March is the right answer to this question. This is World Water Day. 22nd March is the right answer to this question. Now let's move on to the next one. The next one is World TB Day. TB मतलब tuberculosis. This is a lungs disease which is caused by the bacteria called as Mycobacterium tuberculosis. And there is a vaccine also available for that. For children, there is a vaccine. What is that? Path has said the right answer is B. 24th March is World TB Day. And what is the name of the vaccine of tuberculosis? It is caused by a bacteria, na? Mycobacterium tuberculosis. ऐसे नाम है, Mycobacterium tuberculosis. So it is caused by bacteria. And vaccine का नाम है BCG vaccine. I'm sure you must have heard this. ठीक है? कभी-कभी ये सब पूछ लेते हैं, so you should know this. Okay. Now let's move on to the next one. ये भी पूछा हुआ है. This is also CUET's previous year question. और आपको पता होना चाहिए. When do we celebrate World Health Day? And why? Why भी बता दो ना. So the right answer actually is C. 7th April 1948. What happened on this day? I have given you a hint. World Health Day is on 7th April. What happened on 7th April? What is so special? थोड़ा सा लॉजिक भी लगाओ. वर्ल्ड हेल्थ डे, हेल्थ से रिलेटेड कुछ इवेंट हुआ होगा, राइट? सो देयर इज एन ऑर्गेनाइजेशन which is supposed to look after the health of the entire world. What is that organization? नाम सुना होगा, WHO, especially during pandemic. Yes, it was in the news. Yes, Parth, you're right. World Health Organization, 7th April 1948 is World Health Day. So actually इसका ऑप्शन गड़बड़ हो गया नंबरिंग में, है ना? ये B होना चाहिए था, ये C होना चाहिए था, ये D होना चाहिए था, ठीक है? So that is what you should know. So World Health Organization, 7th April 1948, ठीक है? So इस दिन बनी थी. And who is the Director General of WHO? ये भी कभी-कभी जब actually when there was pandemic, उस टाइम पर इनका काफी इंटरव्यू आ रहा था, ठीक है? So once the pandemic was over, a lot of exam asked this question that who is the Director General of WHO? बता सकते हो? Director General of WHO. And where is the headquarter of WHO? ये सब स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड क्वेश्चन आ जाता है. Hello Naveen, welcome to the class. Please answer the question. Namaste. Hello. Yes, Geneva, right path. Headquarter is in Geneva, Switzerland. And आप ये बताओ कि डायरेक्टर जनरल का नाम क्या है? ये पूछा था कई बार एग्जाम में. टेड्रोस एथनोम घेब्रेयेसस, ठीक है? ये है डायरेक्टर जनरल सर. That is what you should be knowing about. And he belongs to actually Ethiopia. Ethiopia is a country in Africa. वहां से belong करते हैं. Okay. The next is World Earth Day is on which day? 22nd March, 22nd April, 29th March, 29th April, 21st April. World Earth Day. इस पर भी एक्चुअली कंफ्यूज किया था, CUT का प्रीवियस ईयर क्वेश्चन था और इसी पे कंफ्यूज किया था, इसी क्वेश्चन पर. I'll show you that question also. And in the beginning of the class, I have already shown that question. World Earth Day is on 22nd April. Actually, उन्होंने क्या दिया था? World Earth Day के सामने ये लिख दिया था. And that was not a correct option because 22nd March को तो ये होता है ना, World Water Day. ठीक है. And Earth Day is on 22nd April. ठीक है. तो थोड़ा सा से कंफ्यूज कर सकता है आदमी. You have to be very careful. Yes, Parth and Naveen, you both are right. B is the right answer to this question. Okay, the next one is National Panchayati Raj Day. Very important. When do we celebrate? National Panchayati Raj Day कब मनाया जाता है? बताओ. Yes, Parth, you're right. 24th April. But why? Why do we celebrate National Panchayati Raj Day on 24th April? 1993 कुछ खास हुआ था. Have you heard about 73rd Amendment to the Indian Constitution? Yes, so constitutionalization of Panchayati Raj institution. Establishment तो पहले ही हो गया था, but constitutionalize हुआ. 73rd Amendment 92, 93 लिख देना, 92 हाँ. So this was established as a constitution it was inserted in the Constitution, 73rd Amendment, and it constitutionalized the provisions of Panchayati Raj in India. हालांकि इससे पहले भी पंचायत एग्जिस्ट होते थे, लेकिन इसको constitutionalize फॉर्म कर दिया गया. So now it derives its power from the Constitution and all. ठीक है. 73rd Amendment is related with पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशन, ऐसे लिखते हैं PRI, पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशन. और पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशन में क्या क्या आता है? जैसे आई एम श्योर यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड, इफ यू आर फ्रॉम विलेज एरिया, यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड दीस टर्म्स लाइक सरपंच, मुखिया, ग्राम सभा. ये सब टर्म सुना है तुमने, आपने? ग्राम सभा, सरपंच, मुखिया, आई एम श्योर यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड इट, है ना? ये सब यही से डिराइव होता है पावर्स. सिमिलरली 74th अमेंडमेंट से 74th Amendment से the urban local bodies got established. ये सेम चीज जैसे पंचायती राज इंस्टीट्यूशन इज इन विलेज एरिया, सो वी आर हैविंग अर्बन लोकल बॉडीज इन अर्बन एरियाज. इसमें क्या क्या एग्जांपल है? जैसे आपने नाम सुना होगा, म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन, नाम सुना है? इफ यू आर लिविंग इन बिग सिटीज, म्यूनिसिपल कॉर्पोरेशन. और इसमें होते हैं जैसे मेयर होते हैं, वार्ड काउंसलर होते हैं, मेयर, डेप्यूटी मेयर, वार्ड काउंसलर. ये तो सुना होगा इफ यू आर लिविंग इन विलेज एरिया, अर्बन एरियाज. है ना, मेयर, डेप्टी मेयर, म्यूनिसिपल कमिश्नर भी होते हैं, वो ब्यूरोक्रेट होते हैं, ठीक है। तो दीज आर द थिंग्स यू शुड नो, ठीक है। तो इफ यू आर लिविंग इन अर्बन एरियाज तो आपने ये टर्म सुना होगा, वार्ड काउंसलर, मेयर। इफ यू आर लिविंग इन रूरल एरियाज यू मस्ट हैव हर्ड अबाउट ग्राम सभा, सरपंच, मुखिया, इस तरह के नाम, ठीक है। So that is what you should be knowing. Let's move on to the next one. International Labor Day कब होता है ये भी पूछा हुआ है. This is also CUET previous year question. कल आए थे मिलने मेयर. Okay, Siddharth, great. So then you should be knowing about what is a mayor, है ना? The right answer is International Labor Day. 1st May is the right answer to this question. ये भी previous year question है. You should be knowing. Yes, Naveen, Parth, you all are right. A is the right answer to this question. International Labor Day is 1st May. Anna, the next one is World Press Freedom Day. Very, very, very important. On this day, World Press Freedom Index is released. World Press Freedom Index is released by an organization. What is the name of the organization that releases the report? World Press Freedom Day. Yes, Parth and Naveen, you both are right. 3rd May. World Press Freedom Index कौन release करता है? Which organization releases World Press Freedom Index? बताइए. It's a France-based organization called as RSF. ठीक है, मैं साफ से लिख देता हूँ. RSF इसका फुल फॉर्म निकालो, क्या आएगा? रिपोर्टर्स सैंस फ्रंटियर्स. ठीक है, सैंस को ना फ्रेंच में विदाउट को सैंस लिखते हैं और फ्रंटियर मतलब बॉर्डर. ठीक है, सो रिपोर्टर्स सैंस फ्रंटियर इज आल्सो रिटन एज रिपोर्टर्स विदाउट बॉर्डर्स. ये भी लिखते हैं, बोथ आर सेम थिंग. ठीक है, whether you write reporters sans frontier or reporters without borders, both are same thing. Okay, and this is actually our organization which releases World Press Freedom Index. And what was India's rank this year? India की rank इसमें कितनी थी, कोई बता सकता है? Anyone? I think 151 थी. Let me check it. In World Press Freedom Index, this year was 151, I think. Yes, 151. It was 151. This was India's rank this year. Okay. Okay. Yes. The next question is National Technology Day. When do we celebrate? नहीं, 151 था World Press Freedom Index में. ठीक है, वो हंगर इंडेक्स में कुछ 105 के आसपास कुछ रहता है. ठीक है, नेशनल टेक्नोलॉजी डे is on which day? The right answer is 11th May. Na? D is the right answer. Why? What happened? 11th May 1998. Something happened. What happened on this day? पोखरान 2 ऑपरेशन शक्ति, पोखरान टेस्ट 1998. देखो आपको पता होगा, this is the state of Rajasthan. This is Pokhran. This is a place where we have Pokhran. It conducted 2 nuclear tests. One nuclear test was conducted in 1974 when Indira Gandhi was in the power, when she was the prime minister. That is called as Operation Smiling Buddha. Operation Smiling Buddha. ठीक है, फर्स्ट न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट. The next nuclear test happened in 1998 when Atal Bihari Vajpayee was the prime minister, and that is called as Operation Shakti. ठीक है, और यही 11th मई को हुआ था. This was conducted on 11th May, and that is why we celebrate 11th May as National Technology Day. ठीक है, ये साइंस डे से अलग है. साइंस डे is on 28th February. I have already discussed. CV Raman, है ना? I've already discussed Science Day. This is National Technology Day, 11th May. ठीक है, Operation Shakti. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was there, and I'm sure you must have heard there were 2 prominent, brilliant scientist. One is Dr. Kalam sir, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam sir, and another was Mr. Chidambaram करके उनका नाम था, R Chidambaram करके there was one scientist. So ये दो famous scientists थे उस जमाने में, means they were instrumental in that. ठीक है, तो पोखरान 1 हो गया, ये पोखरान 1, और ये हो गया पोखरान 2. ठीक है, न्यूक्लियर टेस्ट. So we have conducted 2 nuclear tests till now. ठीक है, that is what you should be doing. The next one is International Day for Biodiversity is on 23rd May, 22nd May, 17th May, 19th May. Biodiversity Day, a World Day of Biodiversity, very famous. 22 May is the right answer. ठीक है, Harmony with Nature and Sustainable Development इस साल का थीम था. So B is the right answer. This is important. International Biodiversity Day. Yes, Shiddat Singh, you are right. 22nd May. Let's move on to the next one. Very, 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 very important. ये तो एकदम याद होना चाहिए सबको. World Environment Day. ये इतना ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है कि हम बता नहीं सकते. This is also a CUET previous year question also, of course. I cannot explain how much important this is. World Environment Day. When do we celebrate? And there is an important event associated with that. बताइए कौन सा event है? Yes, Naveen, you're right. 5th June. What happened on 5th June? June 1972. The first summit or meeting related with environment happened. That is called as Stockholm Summit. Okay, on environment. This Stockholm is a place in Sweden, Sweden's capital. So here this summit happened, and on this day, an organization was formed, UNEP, United Nations Environment Program. It's a very famous organization, UN Environment Program. Okay, so that is what you should know. So B is the right answer to this question. 5th June 1972. Okay, and this year the theme was is ending plastic pollution globally. So very soon we'll be having 5th June. ठीक है, तो याद रखिएगा. This is very, very important. अच्छा, UNEP का headquarter कहाँ है, कोई बता सकता है? Where will I find the headquarter of UNEP, United Nations Environment Program? बताइए. Anyone? So headquarter is in Kenya की capital है Nairobi. Nairobi, I think. ये spelling हो गया है ना. Here you will find this. Let's move on to the next one. International Yoga Day. Again, the PYQ. CUET previous year question. International Yoga Day. 21st June, 29th June, 22nd June, 18th June. What is the right answer? Very, very important. This is the long. Okay, first answer it. Then I will ask you the reason why this day was chosen. The right answer is 21st June. Very, very important. And why this date was chosen? International Yoga Day, very, very important, because this is being celebrated since 2015 on the India's initiative. And an Indian initiative liya tha UN में, and then United Nations accepted this International Yoga Day 21st June. Please tell me, why do we celebrate this? This is important. from geography point of view and from exam point of view, because this is the longest day in the northern hemisphere. So the right answer is A is the right answer. ठीक है, ये आपको पता होना चाहिए. Let's move on to the next one. World Population Day. When do we celebrate? 9th July, 11th July, 7th July, 14th July. Sir, what should I have made a detailed class, Shiddat, if you're asking about Israel and Iran conflict. Israel-Palestine conflict, I have made a video in our law interest channel. Iran पर नहीं बनाया, Israel and Iran पर. World Population Day. When do we have? तो 11 जुलाई 1987 को वर्ल्ड की पॉपुलेशन ना 5 बिलियन हो गई थी. ठीक है. So that is why since then we celebrate World Population Day on 11 July. अच्छा, currently world की population कितनी है? What is the world population currently? Today. Roughly बता दो, exactly नहीं तो. It is roughly around 8 billion. बल्कि 8 बिलियन से थोड़ा ज्यादा ही हो गया होगा. ठीक है. That is what you should be knowing about. So basically, देखो, half of the days I have discussed today, half I will discuss tomorrow. I have told you that Tuesday and Wednesday at 7 p.m. I am discussing this class. Please do join me live tomorrow also, Wednesday at 7 p.m. where I'll be discussing. तो मैंने जनवरी से लेकर के जुलाई तक का डिस्कस करा दिया. जुलाई to लेकर दिसंबर तक tomorrow's class में I will discuss it. ठीक है. And I will discuss the previous year question also in the last portion of the class tomorrow. So I'll be meeting you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Thank you, everyone. Please subscribe to our channel, press the like button, share this video. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.